Anyway, even if they're static, I don't know why they're static. Well, I don't hear static now. Maybe it's just that scene. I don't know. Yay, good. Hi, good evening. I just want to finish this case. I don't know how long it's going to take. Probably not very long. But I really just wanted to finish this case real quick, so Monday we can start case 3 and go on from there. And hopefully meet our prosecutor, rival, enemy, whatever he is, pretty soon. It's a little loud, okay. Does that sound any better? My settings have gotten out of whack, and I don't really know why. Yeah, that's him. That's who we're gonna meet soon, I think. I hope. I want to. So we'll get to him eventually. I think. I have no clue when, honestly. I really know nothing. Well, I got spoiled on a little something for the second game, I think, but I don't know what all happens, so it'll be fine. I read a comment on a video. But anyway, I know last time we were about to enter the the deduction and summation, the final one. Ah, here we are. Just like this. 1 second. Oh, that should help. Some water. Yes, you still have to. Please. Please do. It's so good. I was watching the Nyan Caves playthrough of the first game earlier. I love them, and I love the game, and it's all great. But after I finish this, as soon as I finish this, I'm stopping. If it takes 30 minutes, fine. If it takes another hour, fine. But as soon as we're done with this case, I'm done for the night. Because I need to get my nails done for tomorrow. Because I'm going to go to the movies in the morning. And I have these nails for my birthday week, and they're called birthday sparkles, and they're pretty and pink and sparkly. I'm gonna do those after this. Oh, please tell me that's not static you can hear. I fear. Oh, maybe that's better. Oh, please stop. I don't know why you're being staticky, headphones. Man. I took a shower and then I blow dried my hair and now I'm really warm. I don't like it. Hold on a sec. Oh, I still hear static. Hopefully the static's only on my end. I had to switch controllers because my mouse and my wireless Sobble controller were interfering with each other. Having problems. But I think we're okay now. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. What exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said. One of these two prevaricators? Observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asagi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely! You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone was there last night when Kazuma died. Chunky arms! Look at that! Chunky! Left ear. I don't think that we saw anything there, really. Sailor's hat. She's missing an earring. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, is it? It really is tiny. Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. So now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. And I'm pretty sure that's gotta be it. Oh, it's so weird. You can see them from all over. So weird. Okay, back up here.
Yes!
Oh, it didn't accept that. Oh. Although we haven't actually found anything yet, so... Whoops. What precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following the natural progression of the deduction? Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is, you don't have a turn for observation or deduction. Did that hurt? Yes, it did. Yes, a lot. That's weird. How exactly were we supposed to show that someone else was there when Kazuma died? I can think of two possible ways. Either we find a trace of something that the person in question left behind at the scene, or, if that's not possible, a trace of something that the person took away from the scene, be that accidentally or deliberately. A trace of something someone took away? If you observe closely enough, I believe you will find examples of both. Give them a long, hard, and uncompromising stare from all sides. That's my advice. So are you trying to tell me... Oh!
Yes!
There's an ink stain on his shirt. I didn't know I could go higher up. Seaman Strongnoff. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Ah, yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So, nothing in particular comes to mind about this stain? What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. His name matches it quite well. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Strongnev's. Oh my gosh, I want to say Stroganoff now. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Strongnev's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Strongnev's uniform really is... Is it this? I hope...
Yes!
Yeah, it is that. Yes! It's this photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink? A rather unusual color of ink, purple. Ah, the penny drops, at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means... you must have been present at the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in Dead Student's cabin to make it look like Waterdrum Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Maria do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Biff, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I think I changed her voice between Monday and now. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. They are in love, Your Honor. Very likely. Well, what happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asugi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. It really was an accident. They didn't do anything on purpose. So after the incident, when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked. So she opened to look and you already know what happened after. Oh. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asugi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? I already told you! When Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Ah, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there's one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. More. I knew there was going to be more. What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well, if Kazuma tripped and fell, and some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? Nothing's lighting up. Would it be the fist? I don't know.
Yes!
Nope, the music didn't stop, so it's not his eyes. Let me offer you a piece of advice regarding the pursuit of detection, my dear fellow. When nothing a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. And it can be equally helpful to use them. Sorry, I'll try that. I think it's plain what Mr. Sholmes means by unnatural, isn't it? The word written in a foreign language underneath his fingertips, surely. Oh, yeah, well. No, you're fine. I don't know what it is. That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. No, I mean to identify another point. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. Would you land as the victim has? What of your hands? You look like the sort of fellow who stumbles with some regularity. This should be an easy task. Why do I?
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. Even in a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madame. Would I keep you in suspense? Yes, you would. I believe you would. Yeah. This is what I found. Her missing earring. Oh. A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle? Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. The crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo, that is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe! Find the answer with your own eyes. I know where it came from.
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear, even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose. Eh? What? But looking at your other ear, I noticed a crescent moon. Ah! I don't believe it! Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asuki must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, in Mr. Asuki's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asuki do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? Oh! That's her breakdown. What did she do to Kazuma? When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible, long day. Darka, wait! Oh, is this animated? I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. No, it's just a nice picture. I called to her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, it's Kazuma. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. I don't remember what voice I gave Kazuma, it's been so long. The young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again and I was going to leave the man's cabin... Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Of course! You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But, what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth, and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then... Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And... as he turned around to look at me... Oh. I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. Jeez. She killed him. And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Strognev, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at the cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Biff. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door? Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I find Stowaway. In wardrobe. Still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me. So you worked out a plan. To lay the blame on the Stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to right on floor. I wrote, whatever that says, so that the person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find Stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished the job by pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Borea did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. It's kind of sad. Well, it's really sad. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Cosmo about the fact you'd run away from your homeland. It's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? Is the captain her dad? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? Ah, what are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So, before he could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asuki really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? He was going to ask Ryunosuke. Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whither the young man's gaze was directed? Yeah. First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still, that cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learnt today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. Not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So, when you turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? The wardrobe. Because he was going to ask Ryunosuke's opinion. Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And, more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asugi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Hi, DCC! How are you? Another opinion. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asagi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh, no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for sure now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asagi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently, if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But, unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really. I'm so sorry. Oh, what have I done? Well, honey, you killed a man. And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Buria is finally laid to rest. Aww. January 9th, 7:14 p.m. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now, then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to... Oh dear, word? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Repatriate her? I have no clue. Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia, then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Strognev? I want to do help our angel, no matter what. What? I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Cosmo's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. It looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. To think that only days ago, Cosmo and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. It seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh no, don't cry, please! Susato-san? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh no! I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato-san. Oh, it's sad. It hurts. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now, they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Oh, Inspector. My duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down, and I would do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. Oh, wait. What happened here? Susato? She's the daughter of, the professor who I believe he recommended Kazuma to go to Great Britain. And she's basically judicial assistant, really. Surprised, Mr. Naruhodo? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say? You are a stowaway after all. He's insane. He thinks this is funny? I don't believe that Susato and Kazuma were a thing or anything. She sure acts like she liked him or something at least. Or they were just very close friends. Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heart-rending. I hope you'll be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute! It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. He was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asugi's unfortunate death, I am afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. I knew it was him. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? And qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of a time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Susato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo? That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato? Oh, she's so sweet. I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. Oh. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating? Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest. Give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character. No? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector! After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next, and how best to make my report. Goodbye, Inspector. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. Just like the fox in Naruto? No, Kurama is the fox in Naruto. I mixed up the letters. It's a great sword that's been in the Yasugi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, That's exactly what I need. But, before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you, too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times! What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was locked from the inside. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times. That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it! Don't even think about it. No, I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing techniques several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? I would presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called the Susato Takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw? Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madame. Oh, of course. Oh no, is she gonna do Torianosuke? Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry. Yeah! She did! Oh. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Susato Takedown, is it? Actually, no. That was a Susato Squash. He's gonna pass out. Oh. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Yasugi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely? Oh, he's pretty! A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karma guides me. I truly believe that. Aww. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. And I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. Great Britain's capital, London. Oh. Oh, that actually took an hour. I'm surprised. I'm sad that Kazuma's dead. Yes, save progress. Yeah, we'll save it over this one. The bottom one can just be there. The Adventure of the Runaway Room is episode 3. We can at least watch the opening tonight. Yeah, we'll watch the opening. If it's got one, and then on Monday we'll actually play the chapter. At least start it.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself.
Oh?
However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner.
Uh-oh.
My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
That doesn't tell us a whole lot about this case. Oh, an animated scene! Look at her, she's so pretty!
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
They finally made it!
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Uh-oh. I think I'm gonna be made to be a liar. Oh, wow. Should I be a liar and keep going? Or should I stop? Oh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Hank, help. Should I keep going or should I stop? I kind of... Go, go, go. Okay. Let's keep going. She's in shock at how big it is. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the short few decades since we've opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this... Well, that's true. That's very true. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. But let's just be a liar just for a night and keep going for a little bit. I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time if circumstances were different. Did I hit my switch, didn't I? Where's the picture? I have not played any Monster Hunter. Hold on a sec. Ah, there we go. There we are. I was kind of interested in Monster Hunter Rise, but I think it came out around the same time as this and The Other World Ends With You, and The Other World Ends With You is like super important to me. So I had to get that and this, so I didn't get that. It is on the list of eventual games, but I have way too many games right now that I need to play. Oh no, is it stuck? Why is it stuck? Hold on. Just a second. There we go, I think I fixed it. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity. As envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So, we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer, which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Don't tell me it was a lady. Oh, no. Oh, who are you? Hello. Oh, I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan? It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Mael Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. Oh, that's who you are. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Ah, yes, thank you. Interesting. Converse. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid. Isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh, yes! Astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. Everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Law student. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. Mr. Cosmo Asugi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. It's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, well, thank you. And if you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We're here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madame? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, this is it then. The moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asugi. At least that is what I have been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo! I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... It's me. I can do it. Don't tell me that was the wrong answer. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused. But glossing over the details... I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asugi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in a good stead as lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first. Sir? Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asugi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes. That's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? What's the test? What's the test? He's gonna throw us into court, isn't he? So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. I knew it. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. Oh my, are we gonna see Mr. Prosecutor? No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? Ugh. How do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Not Mr., it said Lord. Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Oh no! Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law? We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you are willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asugi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Yes. We agree to it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. Really. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo... I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madame? I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand on the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense, and if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful! But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please, don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madame? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. He's really into watching the time, huh? So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. Interesting. He's gone. The Old Bailey. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Yes, we should. London's highest criminal court with the illustrious past, the Old Bailey, is where I'm to take my test and prove my worthiness as a lawyer. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die. And we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man here to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madame! Sir. Oh, hello. What are yous doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, aren't they? Is he supposed to be Irish? I can't do Irish. Sorry. Would you look at those expressionless faces from the East, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name. And all while in a strange or faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? I think I'm saying that right. Please, Miss Susato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. That hit me in the eye. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. Ah, he is the defendant. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Bluster and blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there in the center of London, is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? 'Tis called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded won't do for the city and its queer old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft Egypt? I think he is Irish, and I can't do Irish without it sounding potentially offensive. I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, he's okay again. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This Chancellor of a Fellas claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well, no. Not at all. Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Well, you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Beric von Zakes. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor? Is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. Oh dear. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness. Lord Beric von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madame. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned! And his counsel! Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time! Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I'd made up me mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now. Please. I literally know nothing about the case. About this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Cosima never would have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense! What are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Cosima, because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I didn't think we'd get thrown into a British court immediately. Ooh. Oh my. Fire. Oh, and an actual jury! Such a far cry from the actual Ace Attorney games. Well, the rest of the Ace Attorney games. So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, what? Oh, he's doing the thing again. Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Phoenix makes that face. Oh, oh, he's here! Oh, it's his judge! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Look at his beard! Look at him! The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel for the defense? Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. Or his great-grandpa. These people are either one great or two greats ahead of all the characters. Like, Ryunosuke is... I think he's Phoenix's great-grandpa. Or great-great-grandpa, probably. All we know really is that he's his ancestor. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Oh, look at him! Oh my goodness, look at him. Those eyes please me, Nipponese. Unfortunately, I knew already he is racist. But this is in a time when everyone was racist. Unfortunately. I do hear that he gets better over time. But yes, oh my goodness, look at him. Half of me bets he's an ancestor to Edgeworth. It's unfortunately what was common at the time, and they decided, Capcom, when they first made this game, the creators decided to keep it that way. Which, you know, props to them for not trying to erase what actually happened and was going on, even though it's not good. But the Japanese company, full of Japanese creators and video game designers, made it so. 'Tis how it is. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. Maybe? The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. Now, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fellow is a student of some little island off in the far east. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers of yourself and to give those less fortunate a fair chance? I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear they donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please may we go play in McGilded Park? It seems as though everyone in the public is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news. He certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised you couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Yes, my lord. If the task is set to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Anti-criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. Oh, he's drinking. I bet they did. I feel a chill. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, those people are... the jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Von Six, my lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you had renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Oh my gosh, girl. Oh, look at him. He's pretty. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice Fried Mason. Sorry? Thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. Do it, you should. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. The dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Did we just see a juror tossing around a knife? Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. Cool, we can look at that. And the photograph. On one further item of evidence, the prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene, these gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilden's gloves had blood on them? Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. That's not good. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded! To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it. Are you claiming to have been asleep? 'Tis the notion of the carriage, my lord. Littleton is so it is. Littleton is so it is. Littleton? Littleton so it is, and when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me, the body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves, now was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Oh my. That sounds bad. Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. But there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. He fancy. Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name's First. Lady First. I, make hats for gents. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus on witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Quite right. Yes, sir. That's right, sir. I know, it's Lady First. Lady First. That's so funny. Very well then, let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. I think we'll do that on Monday because I'm getting tired and my voice is going. I'm still sad about Kazuma. I liked him. But Barrick is very nice to look at. He's very nice to look at so far. Oh, this is good. This game's going to ruin my voice, isn't it? With all of the talking and everything. Save right there. And back here. So, yeah. That was fun for tonight. Getting to finish case 2 and start 3, and oh dear. I wonder if this is going to be a one-day case, where this is the only day we have of it. Where all we have to do is like figure out what happened with this guy, but I don't know, who knows? there's probably going to be a lot more, and he's going to be accused of more because that's Ace Attorney for you. But it's fun. I really like it. I like that I know nothing. But yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to the movies in the morning. My showing is at 11:10. It's like 10 minutes from my house, so it's not a big deal now. And then once I'm back and I've chilled out after the movie, the Animal Crossing thing is supposed to start at 5 game time. So I'll start probably around 5:30 and play for a little bit to do the Halloween event. But then I'm not gonna be able to play for long because I have to work on Monday. And I bought some Pokemon cards that are coming. I have Pokemon cards coming on Monday and then an ETB coming at some point. I don't know when. It hasn't shipped or anything yet, but you know, it's fine. So this was great. Thank you for hanging out. And on Monday we'll see more of Mr. Beric von Zieks and everything. I hope I'm saying his name right. I really don't know. I think it's Beric von Zieks. But yeah, it's good. It's fun. So I will be back tomorrow evening for the Animal Crossing stuff. So hope you have a good night, and I'll be in Discord and everything if you want to talk about anything. So good night. Have good evening, anybody, anyone, everyone. Goodbye.